When you put a smaller tree in, people with regular vehicles.
We have to put a little bush in, but it'd be easy to maintain. I saw it.
We're going to call our meeting to order at this time. And at this time, we're going to have our roll call officer. At this time, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Burley.
Here.
Councilmember Breen. Here. Councilmember Isom. Here. Councilman Collins.
Here.
Councilman Fowler. And Councilman
Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And once again, I would like to welcome all of you to our council meeting. Today is June the 8th, and we are here live in the Mary Jo Hayward Council Chambers and here at City Hall. And at this time, we'll go ahead and open with a word of prayer. And following that, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance. Our gracious Father in the heavens, we come to you once again, Lord, just saying thank you, Lord. Thank you for all the many blessings that you have bestowed upon each of us. And to Lord, as we go into our meeting tonight, Lord, we ask that you grant us a portion of your spirit to be with us so that we can be able to have the wisdom and knowledge to be able to make the sound decisions for this city. Bless all of our council members tonight, Lord, and to want to bless all of the citizens as well. And to want to bless our city manager and everyone that makes up this great city. And Lord, now we pray now, lead us in your glorious Son, Christ Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Our pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everyone for that pledge tonight. Before we get started with our meeting tonight, I would like to more so just kind of set the tone for our meeting. First of all, I would ask that our council members here around this dais to be respectful to each other. And also to be respectful to the people in the gallery as well. And I also ask that the gallery be respectful to this council, simply because we are taking care of the business of this city. A lot of times we're not going to agree on everybody's views, but at the end of the day, everybody has to be respectful toward each other. And as our meeting is taking place, I always like to go back to Robert's Rules of Order. And it states there in Robert Rules of Order, edition 12, if an item is being debated, each member typically can speak twice on the same motion on the same day. The limit is usually 10 minutes per speech, unless the group adopt a different limit, or a different time, or a different limit. Once everyone who wants to speak has had that chance to do that, the group can move forward. So in our dialogues, we want to keep that in mind when we are discussing items. I'm not here to say that I'm trying to quiet anybody, but what we want, we need some order in our gallery. And also, whenever you want to speak, please acknowledge the chair because I am presiding over this meeting. And that respect, and you can be acknowledged during that time. All right, Madam Attorney.
Do
you have anything you would like to say?
And I think you addressed And thank you, and I think you addressed, decorum as it pertains to, public meetings pretty well. The city is governed by Robert's Rules of Order, and it's found in chapter 1, section 2-1-2 that sets, that fixes Robert's Rules of Order as a prescribed, rules for the city council. And just, again, you address a lot of general, general rules that, any public body would have to follow. Addressing the chair, if you want to speak, and having the chair then recognize you, and after you've been recognized, then speaking. And I think that point, we probably just need to press upon a little bit more in, tonight's public meeting. You spoke about maintaining respectful conduct, and I think that's really important. And then also just to ensure that each item on the agenda receives the appropriate amount of recognition remaining germane to the topic. So if we're going through items on the agenda, focusing on that topic, it's really important not to, so anyone who's listening can clearly understand, and we can kind of clearly be guided by what we've already set out as points on our agenda, and not kind of veering off to any other topics. So those are some general rules that I wanted to reiterate for the body. Again, these aren't new, and also they are set in the city's code of ordinances. That is already mandated by law for the city of Camilla.
All right, thank you, Madam Attorney. And to council, hold on one second. In hearing all of this, I just want us to kind of like, let's govern ourselves accordingly. Mr.
So, I hear you speaking of code of conduct and how we should perform here. I just want to remind everyone that the city attorney is just that, the city attorney, not the legislative body around here. And the mayor pro tem does not dictate how we control or how we act in the council meeting. But I hear you talk about the Robert Rules of Order. Robert Rules of Order is just Robert Rules of Order. But does that outlines in our charter? The Robert Rules of Order does not override our city charter. So I just want to make sure we are very clear on that as well, while we're speaking on Robert Rules of Order. I think it's kind of elementary, to say the least. I think we all adults and we know Robert Rules of Order. And there are many different forms of Robert Rules of Order.
Mr. Pollock, even when.
I just want to make sure.
Yes, I understand, gotcha. But I just want to elaborate to you that when Mayor Owens was here, we always ran Robert Rules of Order out of Edition 12. So
respectfully, Mayor Owens is not here, so therefore there is no need to call his name when you reference.
Okay.
About what you're seated in.
Okay, well, as your Mayor Pro Tem, I'm going
That's
to
what I'm
adopt.
sure that was.
I'm going to adopt Robert's Rules of Order, Edition of 12, sir. Thank you so much.
It's already been established.
All right. Okay. All right, we're gonna move right along with our agenda for tonight. In our agenda, first of all, we're going to get the approval of our agenda. And before we do that, I would like to amend our agenda to add the city manager's employment and agreement as an action item, and that would be action item number 7. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it has been motioned and second. Any discussion?
Yes. There you have it. There you have it, brother. I want to make sure it's clear. We are not approving the contract on tonight, but we are retroactive, ratifying a contract that have already been signed, unauthorized signed. City manager contract. The primary issue before us is not the appointment of Ms. Power, but rather the execution of an employment contract on behalf of the city without prior approval from the city council. The contract was signed and executed on May 18, 2026 by Mayor Pro Tem Burger. In my view, the concern is whether there was a proper authority to execute a binding agreement on the behalf of the city without council approval.
Excuse me, Mr. Pollard. One second. Before you go into all of that, that is discussing the contract.
Sir, this is discussion, and I have the right to discuss this.
We're not going to discuss it. We want to
You
put it on
can't
the
tell me
agenda.
what I can't discuss, sir. You're wrong. You can't tell me what I can't discuss.
Okay.
I have it right. This position is not a reflection of Ms. Power personally or professionally. However,
Order in the gallery, please.
it is another example of what I believe has been a flawed process from the beginning. The integrity of the process matters just as much as the outcome. When proper procedures are not followed, it undermines public confidence and creates unnecessary questions regarding the validity of the action taken. Because I do not support the process that result in the execution of this contract, I cannot support the contract itself. To approve the contract would, in effect, be to endorse the process that produced it, and I am not prepared to do that. Therefore, I intend to vote no on any motion to amend this agenda for the purpose of considering the contract. And if the matter is placed on the agenda, I intend to vote no on the approval of the contract. Again, more reason why I said from the onset that the process has been flawed. An unauthorized contract being signed by Mayor Pro Tem Burger. But I'm glad we're at this point where someone began to listen that the contract had to be approved by council. Thank you.
Any other discussion at this time? All those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. The motion has passed. Thank you, council. We're gonna move right along now in approving of our minutes for May 11, 2026 council meeting. Can I get an approval?
Motion to approve.
All right, it has been motioned and second. Any discussion? All those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried as well. At this time, it brings us down to our speaker appearance. Do we have any speaker appearance for tonight? If anyone comes and speak, please state your name, and you have your address, and you have 3 minutes to state what you need to say. All right, hearing none. We're going to move right along on our agenda for tonight, and we're going to go into our action item. And the council received a request for Alltech and Municipal Gas Authority of Georgia, MEAG, to enter into an agreement to elect an alternate price fixed swap for natural gas. The election to choose an alternate price is pursuant to the gas supply contract between MEAG and the city, and does not alter or supersede the gas supply contract. The agreement period is from January through May 2027. The council recommends approval to execute the agreement as requested and authorize the Mayor Pro Tem to sign. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it has been motioned and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, thank you, council. All right, moving now to the Municipal Election Authority of Georgia Voting Delegates Annual Board Election. The council reviewed a request from the Municipal Electrical Authority of Georgia to appoint cities, voting delegates, and alternates for the upcoming annual board of election that will be held July the 14th, 2026. The council discussed at their June 1st work session to appoint Dwayne Burley as the voting delegate and Danny Palmer as an alternate. Did I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
There's been motion and second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been passed. Thank you, council. Moving to action item number 3, the Law Enforcement Foundation resolution. The council discussed a resolution to support the foundation, the foundation of the City of Camilla Police Foundation Incorporated. The resolution provides for authorization of certain cooperative efforts between the city and the foundation, which will operate a separate legal entity, independent from the city, and will remain separate governance, finance, records, and operation. Can I get a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, it has been motioned and it has been seconded. At this time, all those in favor? Okay, roll call vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Burley,
Yes.
Councilmember Green,
Yes.
Councilmember Isom. No. Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Pollard,
I would state as necessarily, my public comments have already been made for the record, and I stand by my public comments. Therefore, I sustain from this.
Councilman Palmer.
Yes.
All right, that motion has passed. Thank you, council. Moving now to action item number 4. It is proclamation Juneteenth in Camilla. The council reviewed the proclamation on June 19th as Juneteenth Day in Camilla. All residents are encouraged to recognize and celebrate this annual commemoration, which honor the legacy, history, and culture of Black Americans throughout the city and acknowledge the centuries of struggle, courage, and hope that have brought us this time of progress and possibilities. Could I get a motion to approve this proclamation?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, it has been motion and second. All those in favor of the proclamation, show of hands. All those opposed, the same sign. And that proclamation has passed. What I would like to do now at this time, I would like to just read the proclamation into the records. It says, Proclamation, City of Camilla, Georgia. Whereas 1865's June 19th has become known as Juneteenth Day and is the oldest known celebration commemorating the abolishment of slaves in the United States. And whereas although the Emancipation Proclamation was signed by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, more than 250,000 enslaved Africans and their descendants remained in bondage in the state of Texas until the arrival of the Union troops at Galveston on the 19th day of June, 1865. And whereas Juneteenth celebration continued to grow within communities and organizations throughout the country, helping to promote knowledge and appreciation of African American history, religion, families, community, and culture. And whereas Juneteenth is a day of profound reflection and remembrance of the terrible toll of slaves on our country and the legacy of systematic racism, inadequacy, and inhumanity. And whereas the city of Camilla pledged to continue the effort to lift up the importance of history of Juneteenth and advance equality and inclusivity for all members of our community. And whereas on Juneteenth, we recognize and acknowledge the centuries of struggles, courage, and hope that have brought us to this time or process and possibilities. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Pro Tem Dwayne Burley, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2026 as Juneteenth Day in the city of Camilla, and encourage all residents to recognize and celebrate this annual commemoration, which honors the legacy, history, and culture of Black Americans throughout our city. This day, 8th day of June 2026. Dwayne Burley, Mayor Pro Tem, Cheryl Ford, Clerk. Thank you, Council, for approving that. All right, we're going to move now to our fifth item on the agenda is a change order number 1, stormwater rehabilitation project, baseball field. It says that U.S. Import Rehab Services LLC submitted an order, which is number 1, in the amount of $5,800 for the baseball field stormwater rehabilitation project. The scope of the work for the change order is to the video of 419 linear feet of piping and approximately of this project due cracks form on the side walls and foundation of existing building. The adjustment contract price from this project includes the change order, which is $125,516.85. Get a motion to approve this.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, it has been motion and second. Any discussion?
I think it's worth noting that, Mr. White brought to my attention earlier, the original project is way under budget. I think we approved around $300,000 for this project. It's coming in way under. There may be other changes, but it's still gonna come in under budget. Yes.
That was the estimate.
The estimate, I'm sorry. Estimate.
That's just coming out of Squash.
T-Swap.
T-Squash.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Roll call vote. Roll call vote.
Okay, roll call vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Burley,
Yes.
Councilmember Lorraine,
Yes.
Councilmember Isom,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Power,
Yes.
Councilman Palmer.
Yes.
Thank you, council. That motion passed. All right, we're going to go now to our next item here. And this is going to be item number 6, and it is the Municipal Electrical Authority of Georgia, MEAG Utility Bill Credit. The CFO officer, Lisa Humphrey, and the council discussed at their June work session to withdraw from the MEAG Flexible Trust account $300,000 for the next 5 months, June, July, August, September, and October of 2026, for a total of $1.5 million to be credited on the city's monthly bill, MEAG bill. The council recommended approval of the withdrawal and for the CFO and Mayor Pro Tem to communicate the withdrawal instructed to MEAG. Could I get a motion?
So,
Second.
Okay, it has been motion and second. At this time, we're going to open it for discussion. Substitute motion.
To be allocated $300,000 for the next 3 months. So that way we have time to digest this, but more so, we do know that our fiscal year starts in October. Therefore, that'll be well over into the new fiscal year that will be starting, and budget season will have already been taking place. So any operational needs forecasts should have been reflected in the budget areas that for the upcoming fiscal year. So therefore, there's not a need operational that I can foresee we need 5 months where we can actually go through this. We'll be going to the budget season. And the new fiscal year starts in October. So anything operational that is causing this disturbance right now or concern, we only have like 3 months or so left in this new fiscal year. So I just offer that as a substitute motion. That way, again, if there is something we need to look at, adjust, we have time during budget season to make that adjustment.
Okay, there's have been a substitute motion to have $300,000 pulled down for 3 months, which would be June, July, and August. Has been motioned. That is the motion. We have a second.
Second.
Okay. All right, all those
Roll call vote.
All those in favor of that, we will do a roll call. But before we do that, could we listen to the report from our CFO, because she's going to give us some more information on where we need to go and how we need to do that before your motion.
Before we vote, sure.
Yeah, before we vote on it. Okay, Ms. Lisa, we're gonna turn it over to you.
Okay, during the last 4 months, February through May.
Is your mic on? Sorry about that.
Okay, during the last 4 months, February through May, we paid the MEAG power bill in full without credits from the municipal trust. Property tax revenue helped us in paying that bill November through January. We've used substantial reserves from our MEAG Georgia Fund 1 account. That's really our largest reserve other than municipal competitive trust. And today, the balance in that MEAG fund is approximately $300,000. I'm requesting to restart the municipal credit trust for the power bill of $300,000 for the next 5 months. And this will allow the city to afford the high cost of the power bill through the summer months. And after those 5 months, we will start again collecting property taxes that will help us pay it for a few months after that.
So, are you done?
Any discussion on that?
So, when the last time we asked MEAG to send us money, to fund money to pour our bill?
It's been since November, I think is when the credits stopped.
Would it be November, October?
It was October or November. I have to look back to just, verify which month, but one of those months. is
I
stopped.
would have to, it's October. So
Okay.
since October 2025 to the present time, we have not asked for MEAG to send us, to credit any more money toward our bill. Because we'll be perfectly able to take care of our bill.
We also use substantial reserves in our MEAG Georgia Fund 1 account
So,
to
that
cover the cost of the bill.
was
And
gonna
that's
get
down
to,
to $300,000.
so down, you say down to $300,000, what was it? Because there were previous stated about the Georgia 1. And where is Georgia 1 funded? Where is it located at?
It's located at Georgia Fund 1 with the state
Is
of
that one
Georgia.
of our local banks?
No,
So where is that money is allocated at? Where is it?
it's in the state of Georgia, in the Georgia Fund 1 account.
Oh, okay. And how much is it?
$300,000 is.
What was it
there.
previous?
Previously, it was over $1 million.
It was over $1 million. So locally, we don't have any money that is labor X, Georgia 1, locally.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, I acknowledge business. Right.
Mayor Pro Tem, I recall, I can't say exactly when, but it was passed at this table in the last year to give $2 million from the MEAG fund to help with the bills. it was at the same time that it was approved for $1 million to go to the DRA in that same meeting. So now I'm hearing we've spent that money, that $2 million, and then another, according to what she just told us, 700,000 out of the Georgia Fund 1. So that means that we have had to come up with $2.7 million to pay this bill in the last year.
Incorrect, because you sent a whole meeting back.
I'm speaking to the chair.
Yeah, but you spent a million.
Wait, hold on.
Back. So let's make sure we're in line and tell the truth and not headline. Because we already see that these were headlines already stated last week. We already see that, that's a fact. So here we are saying the same thing again tonight. So let's just make sure that we're telling the truth.
May I ask that of Ms.
Yes, you can.
Is that the case, we spent that money, because that money was appropriated to, at that time, help with the bills was what was said.
Mhm.
And it was $2 million, I know because I voted no. And so that money has been spent, and then another 700,000 out of Georgia Fund 1.
We had the 2 million that went to the Georgia Fund 1. Well, we had 3 million. 1 million was sent back to the
Right.
DRA. And then we used the 2 million that was in Georgia Fund 1 either to fund the remaining expenses with the Boys and Girls Club, maybe some other projects, and then
Okay, so
operations of the city.
Oh, okay, so that wasn't all necessarily towards that.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
So just want to make sure that we're saying the record correct.
She still.
I thought she was, she was talking.
Yeah, she still have.
So that $2 million went to Georgia Fund 1.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so it's more day-to-day operations.
And some of, we had some remaining, bills with the Boys and Girls Club and some other projects that we funded with that money.
Okay.
And then operations of the city.
Thank you. I yield.
Thank you.
I would say, Lisa, anything operational that is happening in 25, we in fiscal year 25, 26, right? So anything happening operational, who approved it?
The council
Thank
approved for us to use the money for operations and
The
projects.
council approved it with the exception of Pollard and Ison. Everyone else around this desk approved the budget. So you mean to tell me if there was some issues that were going on then, it was not laid out before this council then that we had some issues before they approved a budget. And quite frankly, there has been nothing done around this city operational that I believe we can point to that in the last at least 7 months or more now, I can see that will cause an operational issue. What have we done? But more so, again, good governance. It requires thoughtful analysis. Talking with staff. Considering future finances. Before making major decisions financially. And why do I say this? Because again, 1 million was sent back in December. Off impulse, personal decisions. It is costing us to come right back. These things does not have to happen. Not if we're intentional about the business of this city. So again, I will say to you, even tonight, we have not seen no documents. I mean, I hear the CFO talking, but we ain't been presented no information on it. This council has not been presented with no information. And I would say that the CFO does not need this. But again, I submit to you 5 months when we was already doing only 200. And again, we haven't sent an authorization letter to me to pay our bill, credit our bill since October 2025. And we hear people talk about the MCT. By the MCT, we're supposed to be depleted all our funds. But while we're on this subject, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I got something I do want to ask of you too, because it was misrepresentation by the local paper. And that was, it was stated that Councilmember Green had said approximately, press. It was, one moment. We had, it was the reverse of the flexible account and the unrestricted, a restricted account and the unrestricted account. How they were placed in the local paper. We would ask that the local paper correct that. It was saying that in our restricted account, we only had we had 3 million, and in our flexible account, we only had $9,000. That was just the opposite. So that misrepresentation, we would ask that be cleared up and ratified in the newspaper, that it's correctly stated. Because we don't want to misrepresent, have people to believe otherwise. But when we talk about our finances, we should be very clear and correct when we talk about our finances. And so I would ask and I would hope that this council will also join in and asking the local paper to correct that misrepresentation on what was stated in our finances and record it as it is, truthfully.
Could you speak on that, Lisa?
The 3.3 million in the competitive trust is restricted for use and credit to the power bill.
That is our 3.3 was in our non-restricted, the flexible account.
The unrestricted is 93,000 in trust.
The unrestricted is who?
93,000 in trust.
You sure about that? Because even Councilmember Reed actually stated that last week that the unrestricted account had 3 point something and the restricted was 9K. Well, she said she called himself personally.
I said flexible account and generation account.
Yeah, generation is the restricted.
Well, the flexible account has 347, 365. The generation account 93,205.
And you stated that you called me at yourself in person, got that. And while we're on that line, we do have people that are appointed to speak on behalf of the city of Camilla. But yet we have a council member that is calling me and speaking to me directly, talking about the business of this city, the financials of this city. Well, we have people that is appointed to talk to me at. So everybody can, I guess, now talk to them, but again, council member stated just the opposite of what you're saying.
She
one way you get
she
your.
didn't really say restricted or unrestricted. She's
Oh, yeah, she did.
terminology, I think.
Yeah, she just said it. So I'm not sure if you're knowledgeable of what we have two accounts. One is restricted and one is non-restricted.
One is restricted for use and paying the power bill.
That's restricted. And the other is flexible. And
Just,
the flexible, we have 3 point something million, and the other we have 90-some thousand.
I think the confusion is just in the terminology, so.
It's not-
Could you, excuse me, could you just state, just for the record, as you've been the CFO, what restricted mean and what unrestricted mean?
Restricted means that it's designated for a certain purpose. You can spend it for a certain
Certain
item.
It was show where.
And then unrestricted, you can use it for,
In
what's needed.
what's needed?
So do you know how many accounts? Again, it predates me, you, and everybody around this council except for one person. At one point in time, there was all restricted. But you can ask Councilman Palmer why they decided that they needed to be split it and make it two parts, two accounts. One flexible and one restricted for generation costs only. Again, we have two accounts. One are restricted for generation power only, and the other is flexible, which means we can do entirely what this council desired to do. When we talk about the flexible account, we can talk about that as when we talk about the gymnasium, when we talk about the resource center, when we talk about that money we pulled down, that came from the flexible account. We was able to do it because it was flexible. It was unrestricted, because if we restricted to only generation power, we would have not been able to draw down that money. So anyone is confused, I'm gonna ask the question, who is it? Because surely, I'm not, I understand we got two accounts. And I understand what restricted and unrestricted mean. But I also know what the flexible account states and what the restricted account is.
State Pro Tem, now I can comment.
Yes, go ahead.
We have a professional CFO who looks after our accounts and our various money matters in this city. If we done, the people that are speaking around this table tonight are not professionals. They do not know exactly what we do have and what we don't have. This lady sitting right over here is a professional. She's the one that needs to speak for this city, and that's what I'm listening to.
So, here you have it, council member, when we talk about the quorum, well, you sit here and council member tell you that we got unqualified people sitting around the desk and the people that we elect around the desk, you should not be listening to actual doing your due diligence and seeing what is going on within your city, making sure that these things are as they say. That you should not do your job as an elected official, but you should just trust someone else. And if you're not professional, able enough to count 1 + 1, we're not able to count that. We're discredited because we question, and you should be able to tell us about what's going on. But we are discredited because we question it. We're incapable.
Okay, Mr.
That's an insult. And Councilman Marie, I don't know about you, but he just told you too and me too that we're unprofessionals. We're not professionals around here. There's only one professional around here.
All right, Mr. Pollard, we're gonna move on with your motion. And after you heard the report here with Ms. Lisa, your motion was.
I got it, but I got one thing I need to know, because it was stated that these finances and the reports will be given to us last week. You'll have that here for us. I had some. Do you have that ready?
I don't know, but I can send it out next week
Next week?
or later this week.
Okay. All right, your motion has been, motion and second, for the, $300,000 for 3 months instead of the 5 months. All right, we're gonna do a roll call vote on this. Madam Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Burley,
No.
Councilmember Green,
No.
Councilmember Isom,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
No.
Councilman Pollard,
Yes.
Councilman Palmer.
No.
All right, motion failed, and we're gonna go back to our original motion with the, 300,000 for the next 5 months. That will be June, July, August, September, and October 2026, which brings a total of 1.5 billion on credits. Can we get a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it has been motioned and second. No discussion. At this time, we'll have a roll call vote on this.
Mayor Pro Tem Burley,
Yes.
Councilmember Green,
Yes.
Councilmember Isom,
No.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Pollard,
No.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you, council. That motion passed. Now we're gonna move now to our next, agenda item. And this agenda item is, our employment, agreement for our city manager. And just to kind of piggyback on what has been said, first I'm going to go back and address the charter, section 2.28. It says city managers, appointment, qualification, and compensation. It says that the city council shall appoint a city manager for an indefinite term and shall fix the manager's compensation. The manager shall be appointed solely on the basis of executive and administrative qualification. This is what our charter states, with us as elected officials in hiring a city manager. Our job is to appoint and discuss compensation. We did that in executive session, and all of this was taken care of. That's our job as council members. Now tonight, it was shared with us that we, the city of Camilla, don't have a policy of how we hire our city manager. It's nowhere found where we have a way of hiring our city manager. I have the floor, sir. I have the floor. I have the floor. There is nowhere in the charter, no more than this section code here states how we hire our city manager. Okay? And as we can recall, the same format that we are doing now, we did it back when our previous city manager was here. If you go back to your minutes of August the 8th of 2022, when we hired Mr. Dennis Stroud. There, Mr. Stroud had been on the job for about 2 months. And it was not a contract, it was an agreement. And that is what we're going to do tonight. And we're going to just follow that format. The same thing even happened when we hired Mr. Sachs during that time. I wasn't on the council, but the same format was done the same way. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and approve our city manager's, Mrs. Deidre Powell, agreement, which started on May the 18th, 2026. And her salary, as you already know, that is $130,000 a year. So at this time, could I get a motion to go ahead and approve this agreement?
Okay. Second.
All right, it has been in motion and second. At this time, do we have any discussion on this?
Sure, we do. And so as you stated, and I'm gonna ask you again, Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Ford, on tonight, have anyone stated that there is not a way this city appoints a city manager, as it was just stated previously by Mayor Pro Tem? Have anyone stated that tonight? That this city has no way, do you have that, go anywhere your minutes, that this, somebody around this bed said?
My minutes aren't really verbatim, so I would be.
But I would ask council, have you heard Nobody.
We don't have any policy whatsoever how we hire our
But
city
see,
manager.
what Mayor Pro Tem is talking about, and you're correct, you ought to fix. But there's more to that. And I told you last week about that. Because we're talking about a contract.
We don't.
We're not talking about the appointment, but we're talking about a contract. There is a signed contract already that was unauthorized by you, sir. You had no authorization to sign the contract because no council had approved it. So let's make sure the record is straight. But while you were on that line, I'll play it for you.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back. We just came out of the executive session. So the personnel matter. No action was taken there. However, at this time, and again, today is May 2nd, 2022, and this is the City of Camilla work session. We're here at City Hall on the 4th floor. So at this time, council, is there a motion to appoint Dennis Stroud as the interim city manager for a period of 1 year, a salary of $110,000 per year, effective June 1st, 2022, but to start no later than June 15th, 2022. Is there a motion? Motion. Second.
Guess who's second, man?
Properly second. Any discussion?
I did.
So the fact that you're sitting here saying that this is the way we did, no, sir, you heard it, it's clearly.
We're doing
And
that.
everyone heard it, that it was very clear. When we came out, not only there were some things that was outlined, the salary, the term,
We did all in the executive session,
and sir, you know
and we did
that you
that.
cannot take a vote in the executive session.
We did not.
So you must come out and tell the people. And that never happened.
We did that when we appointed her.
That
You did.
never happened.
You had nothing to say.
You have not, and the record will state, that was on May 11th. That was not, and we just approved the minutes. That was not said, you did not talk about the salary, you did not talk about the terms of the agreement, none of that was discussed
It was in executive session.
in executive session. But it had to come to a vote. And you cannot take a vote in executive session.
We did.
I know you did because by your own
No.
submission that you did.
No, we didn't take a vote.
You said it.
No.
You said it. But what we do know is that you did not come out and approve that contract. Y'all did not tell the people. And that is wrong. You don't have the authority to do that. This is a contract.
So the agreement.
You alone, sir, do not have the authority to approve any contract binding the city with anyone. That is a council action. Council must approve that.
That's what we're doing now.
No, we're ratifying. Because what we did with Dennis Stroud, let's talk about that. Yes, you can appoint someone. Yeah, you can appoint them. And that's what you all did. You come in and said, we named our city manager. But you never outlined the contract. And yes, our charter does say that it just has to be fixed.
And that's what we're doing.
But there's another point to that. And I read it to you last week because we're not going to talk about indefinitely, but when you talk about what you signed an agreement, a contract, and that must be approved by council. That was not what? Approved by council.
And what we're doing now, we are fixing to.
You're ratifying what you did that was unauthorized by you.
Okay.
And that's what I mean about this system being flawed, this process. That's exactly what I mean.
Order in the gallery, please, order in the gallery.
By submission of the Mayor Pro Tem himself,
Okay.
that they voted in executive session.
Mr. Pollard, you've been over 10 minutes, sir.
Sir, I'm still talking.
Yeah, but your time is up now.
You can't give me time.
10 minutes. Your time is
You
up.
can't, sir, again, but let's make sure the record is straight though.
Yeah, the record is straight.
So don't come with the allegation that this have already been done before because it was not done like this. And I just played to you all again, another way that the system and this process have been flawed. And lies have been told over and over again from the onset. And so here he is trying to. But I'm glad we're at this point. Because we had the city in liability. Because you got to know when you're sitting somewhere what you're doing.
All right, Mr. Paul, that's.
And it was unauthorized.
That's it.
So
Okay.
it's already been stated, it was unauthorized, and now we're here to ratify a contract.
All right.
May I be recognized?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I just would like to say that the interview process was in executive session, and there were 5 council members there that day that did approve this. And you chose, one council member made the choice not to come and was not there. And so is not aware of what was talked about or discussed that day. So that particular council member had the opportunity to be there and chose not to be there and not to be in on the decision-making process.
So that's,
Thank you.
no. Yes, yes.
Mr. Paul, you
I
had your
am
chance.
raising my hand to speak.
Yes, but listen.
Mayor Pro Tem, I am
You've spoken
raising my
twice.
hand
You've
to
spoken.
speak.
You've spoken 3 times on this stuff.
I am raising my hand to speak. I am raising my hand to speak, and I would like to be acknowledged.
Mr. Paul, you've had
I would
twice.
like to be acknowledged, sir. I'm asking you nicely.
We want to move forward now.
If you can move forward, but I'm gonna make sure this referee, I'm gonna get over, but I need to get out. Because when you stated that somebody, that it was already proclaimed, we already know I wasn't here. Let's make sure the record is straight. It was a call meeting. It was not a regular meeting. It was a call meeting. And so I'm glad you're sitting here discussing about what happened in your executive session. Because you know that is a lot for you to be sitting here talking about what happened in the executive session. But continue to go down that line and talk about what happened in the executive session. But let's make it very clear, when you came out of the executive session on that particular day that I wasn't here, that you're stating, it was very clear when you came out of the executive session, you named 2 finalists. That's all you did. And that is on the record. You didn't state about Ms. Powell was the finalist or the soloist. You didn't state that. You didn't state no salary. It was never stated to the people. But somebody told the local newspaper about what happened in the executive session. As we had already been identified that you took that vote in the executive session, potentially that same meeting you're referenced to that I wasn't present. And I think we all know the reason why you did that. But you were wrong.
Okay, Mr. Paul. Thank you for that, sir. Thank you. All right, it has been motioned and it has been second. At this time, we're going to do a roll call vote on this matter. Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Mayor Pro Tem Burley,
Yes.
Councilmember Green,
Yes.
Councilmember Isom. I respectfully abstain. Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Pollard,
My comment is already on the record, and I stand by my comments, no.
Councilman Palmer.
Yes.
That motion has been passed. Thank you.
Did you vote?
Oh, yeah. Motion has been passed. Thank you, council, for that. Okay, we're gonna move right along on our agenda. Now it brings us down to our city manager's report. And at this time, we'll turn it over to our city manager. Ms. Powell.
Mayor, members of council. Mayor, members of council, I just have one brief comment. One, we received an invitation, I believe I forwarded that to all of you via email, as it relates to the Juneteenth celebration that is downtown. This is Saturday, June the 28th. The lineup for the parade starts at 8. Parade begins at 9, and then there's a community celebration immediately following. I am also honored to be the Grand Marshal for this particular activity. My husband and I, and family will be here as well as my family that lives here. So certainly, if you have time, it would be great for you to support this activity. One of the issues, one of the things that we're focusing on is trying to get individuals back to downtown, shopping local, thinking about how it affects the local economy when we shop in other places, including the tax dollars. And so, that is one of the reasons why I'm excited to be a part of this. And then the other part of it is it gives me the opportunity to be out and about in the community. That is all that I have at this very present moment. I don't think I forgot anything. If I did, I will send you all an email collectively with the information.
Okay, thank you very much. Luke, you have anything for us tonight?
Just a cemetery phase 3 bid opening is Thursday, June 11th at 11. That's all.
11 Thursday?
Thursday.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So it's final phase, or is it the next meeting?
It could be,
Maybe.
we could go farther.
It's kind of the final, what we had planned already, but
It could be considered a complete job after this phase, but there are still some tasks that can be paid.
All right.
I'm sorry, there's one other thing if you don't mind.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I am considering, a bid for, software, for, utilization with the, it's called Minitrack. It provides some avenues to look at, approve, and have all of the documents that are presented in one place. You can print out what you want to print, what you don't want to print, you don't have to. It also gives an approval process where it starts with the level of approval before it actually goes on the agenda. I consider that, I'm looking at it, and it may be something that will come back to you all in the near future.
Say it one more time.
It is, the software that I'm looking at is called Minitrack. You can put, so for example, all the information that we have here could be electronically inside of a document. You can go back and pull it, citizens can pull it. It's very user friendly. If the department heads submit an item, the item, it gives notification, it's like a router. It gives notification that the item is out there. And I can look at it or approve it or deny it and send it back. They correct it and send it back to me. It's more user friendly than some other types of products that are out there.
This is for operational from employees?
Well, we would all use it.
Because I'm trying to understand what is the difference between what we already have now and what we're doing our council agenda package.
So right now, electronically, the only thing I have seen is a link. And maybe I'm missing something. I can certainly own that and ask the clerk again. I mentioned it to her that I was looking at that particular software. So she's aware that I'm looking at it as well. I think the more efficient and effective we are, the better service that we're going to provide to our citizens, the more access they'll have as well. But certainly if you all decide that you don't want to move in that direction, you definitely don't have to.
Thank you. And I get that, but I'm all down for bettering our communication, but just wanted to see what is the major difference between when you talk about as far as getting things out, as far as our council agenda package and someone approving this and that. When we talk about approval, we're talking about approval from employee standpoints, operational, but surely I hope not council.
No, the information will come out to everybody in the same type of format. That's the first thing. The other part of it is that I believe it would be useful if we had a cover letter that gives you the high bullet points. I know that there are individuals who work or may not necessarily have time to look at every single nuance, but at least if there's a cover sheet there that tells you what department it's coming from, what the topic is, and the main bullet highlights on that front page. And then the backup is all of the documentation that you all are already getting, but it's all in one place. The other part of it is, again, that it gives me the opportunity to approve the item. There have been items where I've been rushed to kind of look at them. I want to be able to drill down. Like today, I went to the finance department. I asked the department, the leadership in that department, I want to know, what do you mean by reserve? And so we talked about the reserves. We talked about, and because again, the other part of it, no disrespect to anybody, but the average person does not understand when we're talking about reserves, they have no idea what we're talking about. And so if our meetings are going to be good for not just us, but for our citizens as well, they need to understand what we're saying when we say reserves. I'm just being honest, I've been in it a long time. They're really not, there's some things that they don't understand, and so that's the other part of it. And like I said, the finance director and I talked for a while today, because I've been a finance director. I understand what she's saying and how she's saying it. But when you've been in it, sometimes where you are is not where the other person is. And so I want to make sure that everybody understands what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it. Because at the end of the day, it's about service to the citizens. And if we're not helping them to live in a community or a lifestyle that is still insane, what are we really doing? I think it's important to me. It's always been important to me. It's just who I am. And so I'll leave that alone. I'll leave it alone.
I truly enjoy it, but I'll just say that down that lines, you do understand that we're not what is considered for budget season.
Right.
And with that being said, our ask is our past budget, have it been cleared yet? Have we sent it?
So can I say something on that? We're not talking about buying it right now. I'm just letting you all know that these are some of the things. I'm not, and I'm still looking at the budget because I really would like for the council to have more detail.
I would definitely agree that this budget includes all of us around this table and department heads. I hope that the chief CFO is the number one person to contact along with yourself as the day-to-day operational chief executive around this camp. Y'all are in concert and talking about the budget season that's coming, but the past that we have not. Where are we with that budget?
We're I'm planning for us to work together, not just the two of us, because the departments know more about what they need than we do. But I do think it's important that for the council to have some additional detail. And what I mean by that, for example, we have a ladder truck. We do need to replace that ladder truck. But ladder trucks cost a lot of money. So we have to be mindful of that as well. There are other things that the team needs, but I guess for me, I think it's easier for you all to say, yes, I agree to this if you have more detail.
And I agree with that, but I guess also the level of engagement that a council person take in their role as well, because when we talk about the ladder truck, that is something me and Councilman Morgan had already read.
Mm-hmm.
Along at one time, Councilmember Vereen, and we talked with other stakeholders, such as the school board, they got letters from them as well too. So this is something that was already in the making. I hope that I heard somewhere that we may be getting some help, but then again, it may be going for another infrastructure item project. But there is a lot of talk around that. But we had already started that process and understood that we need a ladder truck, because when we talk about that ladder truck, the importance of that ladder truck that we have and sitting in this storage at this height, and we have a emergency center hospital that is nearby and a school, and we don't have a ladder truck to reach those higher heights. That's gonna be some problems. And so, yeah, we stress the importance of that, and I guess, again, that is the level of engagement that a council person have to have as well too, to know what is going on. And those are those duties that I talk about as a council, you need to have those, you should take very much seriously those duties. They're not likely to take it. So when people talk around and they're talking about, you know, you ain't this and you ain't that, it may be referring to yourself. But nevertheless, I'm truly on game and on board with communication, and improving efficient in our communication when we communicate things around it. Because I do agree that it's better for all of us and our citizens. So yeah, I'm on game for that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, City Manager. All right, now this brings us down to our closing of our meeting. Is there any announcement that needs to be brought out? Well, first of all, I'm gonna just piggyback up on you. City Manager encouraged us to be a part of the parade. And it is wonderful to know that you are the Grand Marshal this year. And that this is June the 20th, 2026. So, council member, I encourage, if you're available, to come out and enjoy the festivities of our Juneteenth celebration. All right, is there any other comments or announcement that needs to be? Yes, ma'am, sure can.
Collectively, do you all have an issue with me communicating with, the Development Authority and the Regional
Commission.
Yeah, Regional Commission.
I would think.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
essentially a job.
yeah,
That should
yeah,
be
yeah.
their authority.
And they would help us out on that ladder truck too, because I had a conversation with them about that, but the grant, and the chief talked about that as well, so he's looking into that grant portion as well, so.
I just want to thank Ms. Lisa for coming tonight. I know that's not an easy thing to do, to come and ask, and I appreciate your information. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, thank you.
So, I do have something.
Go ahead.
Again, it's unfortunate we're in some spaces that we're in. When people rather tell you headlines or give you headlines than give you the truth. It's unfortunate. But time and time again, we sit here and we see they come back to bite us in our behind when it's not procedurally done correctly. Tonight, we witnessed that again. When all you have to do what is right the first time. And I'm gonna ask this council again before we leave here, that the record of the misrepresentation in the paper be corrected. It will misstate in the paper, and it needs to be corrected. Because that is not the stance of this city and its finances. So before we adjourn, I like to offer, and I don't know if I will have to amend the agenda to offer that motion, which I think I may have to amend the agenda to offer that motion, but it's some form of sense of consensus that we can relate it to our city manager to make sure this information is correct in the newspaper about our finances.
Not just an order to our city manager. I mean, it's,
I will hope that we can get a consensus of this council.
if
That
there
was
was,
correcting this that have been stated in this paper as incorrect and misrepresentation of our city finances. So I ask, do we have a consensus of this council to correct that misrepresentation in this local paper.
Okay, Councilman, do we have and what was the,
It was the reverse action of what the state amount in the ad, plus the unrestricted.
of the balance of the restricted and the unrestricted?
It was reversed, it was vice versa of what the stated in the paper. And it's important because it's the city finances.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Madam Attorney.
I'm just trying to get clarity on what the ask is. Are we asking the newspaper, are we instructing the newspaper to do anything, or just asking them to revise a previously published article? Is that what we're asking for?
That's correct.
Yes, that is correct, ma'am.
But, okay, I just want to be clear, we weren't instructing them to take action, because we're obviously, we don't have that power here.
But we would ask that they would change that.
And we can ask, Mr. Nguyen is here today. So, Mr. Nguyen, are you willing to correct that mistake that you, okay, no problem. So we have his consensus to do that. And at this time, council, could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, motion, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you, public, for watching.
All